of criticism. I'm just going to read the dictionary meaning of criticism. The expression of disapproval of someone or something on the basis of perceived faults or mistakes. Right? So it's a very negative connotation, criticizing someone, talking about the fault of somebody else. If there is one thing that a devotee should actually follow, to be very careful in Krishna consciousness, is to not criticize another devotee, right? If it is a problem in Siddhanta, of course, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, Siddhanta bolite chitta na koriho alasa. When it comes to Siddhanta and somebody is speaking something which is viruddha or opposite or which is not right, which is not in the path of philosophy, that talking about that and discussing is not called criticism, right? That's not Vaishnava Parad, right? Because if we see apasiddhanta dvantaharine, right? When there is apasiddhanta, it has to be finished. That's the lineage we are coming in. That's the parampara we have, right? Whether it was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur or it was our own Srila Prabhupada or Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the entire lineage, they always had this clear understanding that when there is apasiddhanta, it has to be managed right. So for that, first of all, the devotee should know the siddhanta properly to understand that there is something which is apasiddhanta, and then speak the right things to clear that apasiddhanta away, right? So that is not criticism, that is not being judgmental, that is being that is talking logic and making someone understand where the siddhanta has gone a little faulty. But when it comes to like Ashtavakramuni, right? So if imagine somebody has a bodily problem, someone has a problem with their physical or a mental, what do we call, difference, from the normal usual people, talking about them or unnecessarily criticizing someone for something which is very material, right? This cannot be done. This should not be done by devotees, because we can just live our entire life criticizing others, but here is a bull and cow who are clearly seeing someone standing next to them who's beating them. They could actually say that this guy is at fault, right? They could have been a critique to say or give a big note on how Kali was torturing them, but they did not do it, because for now they are wondering, maybe I did some karma because of which this person is torturing me. I have put myself into this suffering because first of all, maybe the material elements came into existence and I did not want to serve the Supreme Lord, and then I fell down here, and because of my falling into this material world, I had some actions performed. Because of those actions, this person is standing here causing this suffering to me, right? So if one understands the core point that we are not the body, we are the soul, and as a soul, our complete satisfaction is when we serve the Supreme Lord, right? Sat Chit Ananda, the Lord being Sat Chit Ananda, the soul also has the qualities of the Lord of being Sat Chit Ananda, and it is trying in multiple ways to achieve that Ananda, that bliss, that complete bliss, right? So in the process of trying to achieve that complete bliss, what are we doing? We are trying to find ways to be always blissful, which is not possible in this material world, and there is dukkha that comes more than sukha. And when that dukkha comes, we try to tell ourselves that I'm not the reason, somebody else. I'm not the reason, somebody else, right? So that again, even in that, we are trying to find peace, satisfaction and happiness by saying that I am not the cause of the suffering. This person is the cause. If this person goes out of my life, I will be peaceful. But that's not going to happen, right? If not this, it is someone else. If not that, it is someone else. It is the way we think in our mind how suffering is coming to us. So criticism is a very negative aspect in a person's life. So the request is, as devotees, if not devotees also, even as a normal human being, criticism will not let a person live a peaceful life. Because it is, as we just read, the expression of disapproval of someone or something on the basis of perceived faults or mistakes. So we think we are perceiving that fault in the other person, and so we are criticizing the person. It's not necessary that that person has to be necessarily at fault. All right. So, if it is possible, why I picked up this topic is, we are taking multiple vratas for Kartik. Is it possible that all of us can take a vrata, that we consciously, this entire month of Kartik, we are not going to criticize someone, which is a big negative aspect. Pray to Lord Damodar and sincerely request him that, Krishna, please help me to let go of this unwanted quality of criticism. Right? So again, I've already explained the difference between criticizing and discussing philosophy. Yeah, Siddhanta and Apasiddhanta. That is very different from truly criticizing someone based on our perceived notion about someone else. Yeah, so these are two different things. So if I would be very happy to know how many of you think you would like to take a vrata along with the other vratas of chanting, hearing and reading, offering ghee lamp to Lord Damodar and eating only Havishanna. So many vratas can be taken during this month, right? Right? Sometimes when we go and ask a person about something, imagine we ask a question like this. You're saying there is no two, there is no Paramatma and Jivatma. There's only one. The Jivatma, when it is purified, becomes a supreme soul. He becomes God. How is it right? Can you explain? Then they will say, oh, look at your face. Look at the way you're talking. What are you doing? With this face, how did you even come out to talk and ask these questions? This is criticism. But if the person is going to pick up on the point of discussion, oh yes, my philosophy says this point, and that's why I say that there is no Paramatma and Jivatma, there is one, and then when it is purified, it becomes God himself, right? If that person is going to discuss the concept that is in discussion, then that is clearing Siddhanta, that is having a logical talk, right? If that person is going to pick on the person who is talking, the person who is having the discussion, then that is just criticism, pure criticism. That means that this person does not have answer for the question, so he wants to shut the other person, and they are picking like that. Or the person does not have a higher understanding or is not a high thinker, right? So these could be the reasons. So it is important that we place ourselves in the right position when we are having any kind of conversation with a person, with another person, right? So it is important that we move our consciousness one step higher in this month by understanding how to change and how to understand criticism versus managing Siddhanta.